Hey YouTube, Awesome Writer here. This is going to be my last video in this little mini-series I've been doing comparing Bandai to Hasbro so far. Again, I hate to say this again in case you are somehow marathoning these or just sick of hearing it, but in case this is someone's first time watching it, I know it's early days in Hasbro. This is something I'll be updating later as we go. It's kind of unfair to compare, but I think interesting to compare. And the point of this series is not to badmouth either company or take sides, just kind of an interesting comparison on what I like about both and like about neither. And I think this is a perfect one for it, which is Lightning versus Legacy. Both seasons collector toy lines, because there's things I like on both sides. Let's talk about the figures first, because I think Hasbro for me is the clear winner. Legacy got some mixed responses for a lot of reasons, most notably, you know, the bigger muscle figures, which is what Bandai was known for. I think because of years of being conditioned to buy those figures, I didn't mind as much as other people. I still don't mind some of the Legacy figures. There's still some ones that I quite like. I still stand by my claim that I think that the Psycho Rangers head sculpts are much more accurate than the Lightning Collection ones. There's some okay stuff there, but very mixed, and I think despite people going absolutely nuts because someone's wrist isn't painted, I think the Lightning one is far superior. They're, you know, more accurate molds, better paint in a lot of cases, sometimes, you know, in a lot of cases, but just in the way it's done more accurate. Like Blue's helmet on Dino Thunder Blue. It doesn't have the accurate color around the visor, but the way it's painted and shaped, it looks more normal. It looks more like the show it's supposed to. They have better accessories. The human heads are a bonus. I think the number one thing, a lot more variety. The release schedule, it's a little bit random, but they're starting to sort of engineer it so we're getting more complete teams, but we're getting a wide net cast. I mean, we got our MMPR stuff, but we also got Zeo, and we got In Space, we got Astronomo, we got the A-Squad, we got Villain big figures. So, you know, even though I'm not mad at the Legacy figures as most people, Lightning is clear winner there. But let's talk about the other stuff, because it's kind of hard to right now, because we don't have as much stuff. Lightning's full force. You can easily compare that. I think they far surpassed Legacy in terms of numbers already. But you can't compare Zords yet. They don't exist. Outside of that Zeo Megazord thing, I don't think that counts. But that's the only thing that's comparable as of this recording. If you're from the future, doesn't matter. Time travel's not a part of this. But the only things we have right now are helmets, Dragon Dagger, and the Morphers. So that's all we can really talk about. And I'll say that I like the Legacy helmets. I think there's some weird stuff with them, but I think they're solid. I'm not mad at them. I think they were easier for people to fit on their heads. I've seen some complaints about the Lightning ones being harder for people to wear. But I think that overall, look-wise, the Lightning ones are better. They look shinier, they're more compact, they look just better, I think, to me. I like both of them, though. I'm not sitting here about to, like, smash the Legacy ones with a hammer and say, to hell with you, Bandai, and pee on it or something. I think they're still good. But I think the Lightning ones are better. You know, they can feel a little cheap sometimes, but look-wise, it's better. Now, with the others, though, it's interesting, because I think that both the Dragon Dagger and the Morpher I've seen get a lot of heat. And I'm not saying they're perfect, but I think they're pretty cool releases. And screen accuracy is weird when it comes to the Morpher, because it depends on what scene you're looking at. But I would say that, just to generalize, the Lightning ones are a little more screen accurate, but the Legacy Collection stuff felt more like a high-end collectible. I think the Morpher is the most obvious example of that, because if you were to look at the Lightning release, or even the original release, it's a little bit more accurate to the show than the Legacy one, which has like that real metallic-y silver, which never looked like that except for in the Dino team-up, the Jew Ranger Morphers used that mold. But I don't think we used those in ours. I don't remember though, doesn't matter. But the point is that it's not as accurate across the board, but it feels like a high quality die-cast collectible. Same thing with the Dragon Dagger. The one for Lightning looks more screen accurate, but man does the Lightning one or the Legacy one look cooler. It just looks like this premium collectible on your shelf and it feels right. And so, but I would say, this is a weird one for me, because I'm just gonna say I overall preferred Legacy. The releases felt much more premium. I'm not saying everything was great, but when I got a Lightning item, or Legacy item, God, I always do that. Legacy item, you know, outside of some weird stuff like the Thunder Megazord feeling like it was falling apart, I felt like I was getting a quality collector's item. I think more so with roleplay stuff like Saba and the Dragon Dagger and the Morpher and stuff like that. The Blade Blaster also, I think, is underrated. But it felt like, yeah, this is a solid quality collectible. It just felt like I got my money's worth in most cases. Again, but I'm not saying the Lightning ones are bad, and we're so early days, guys. But it is weird with the Lightning ones, because I saw someone say that in a comparison, I think it was one of my reviews, I don't remember which one it was, I don't remember who it was that said it, so I'm sorry. But it says something like, I think the thing is basically what I said, is that the Lightning ones may be more accurate, but they feel more like a toy, whereas the others feel more like a proper collectible from Legacy. And that's weird to say, that I'm like, I like the Dragon Dagger better for Legacy because it doesn't feel like a toy, because they're both toys. And I don't think it's about like the snobbery of, I don't want this to feel like a kid's toy. It's more like you just want your money's worth, and that's what I felt like I was getting from the Legacy stuff. Oddly enough, reminds me of figure arts collecting, where in my early days I always felt like I was getting my money's worth, and now, even if the mold looks really good, I'm like, this is not worth $100, chill. And that's kind of like what happened with the way I collected Star Wars stuff. Not to go on a tangent, Star Wars and Marvel stuff, but I stopped collecting the figure arts because I'm like, yeah, this looks better, but for like a fourth of the price I can get this one that looks pretty awesome, and it seems more durable. So there's interesting discussions to be had about quality feel and quality price and what you're getting and whatnot. And I don't think the Lightning stuff is bad so far. I think they're just dipping their toe into it. But I think Bandai does deserve credit for doing some really cool stuff with the Legacy line. There were some hiccups here and there, but in terms of like the Megazords and the Morphers and Roleplay stuff, there was some really cool stuff that I still really love for my collection personally. But I want to know what you guys think. What do you prefer so far, Lightning or Legacy? What are some of your favorite releases? Let me know in the comments as always. Until next time, like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell so you can catch my videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.